My beautiful people, traders, near and far, welcome back to another Relentless recap. How you doing? How you doing? Hit that thumbs up as you're tuning in. If you are a new viewer, consider subscribing. And of course, be relentless with me in hitting that notification bell. All right? So tomorrow will be live. You guys will be able to know when RT is on the scene because Relentless is here every day. This is what we do. We come in here, we talk about our watch list, our game plan for the day, and from there we trade live. So stay tuned. Tomorrow we will be live again around 9 a.m. Every day starts the same. It starts off with Momo Pro and the gap scan here, coming down to the discovery section. Every day I come to this list here, I pull it up, and I check and I see which stocks are moving and which stocks are not. And CFRX at the time earlier today was our leading gapper. And so that was the one that I was really focusing on. It had a good, and we can look at it here when we talk about float, right, and volume. So price range around $5-6, right, at the time, up over 50%, 27 million shares of volume, less than a million shares in the float. This is exactly what we look for when we talk about, squeeze potential, stocks that can potentially rip. And so here we go. CFRX, this thing goes from a low of 333 to a high of about 695, and it was absolutely impressive. Pre-market, I unfortunately did fumble the bag just a little bit because I was watching it here in this area and I allowed it to pull up here without me. It gave a beautiful wedge and continued. And so, Relentless, why did you not get aggressive pre-market? Why did you ease off? Why did you let this one go? Now, a couple of things. As I'm doing the analysis throughout the morning, I'm not really paying attention for trades. I prefer to trade in the open. That's the first thing. Now, when I did get ready and start to tell myself, hey, I think this thing looks decent, I have this rule in pre-market where I'm not allowed to trade breakouts. I've come to realize that in pre-market, the breakouts do work, but they don't work as well as I would like them to. So I prefer to be in off the lows. And at the time, the 5-minute pullback here had already transpired. We've had our bottoming wick, a little bit above VWAP down here, and the 5-minute candle started to make the new high. So as this continued here, I could do nothing but watch. And we did see some of our edge, right? We had the 3-bar play here. And, maybe looking back at it, hindsight 2020, I should have been a little bit more aggressive to just jump in. But, it's these things when you have these concrete rules that you're trying to follow. You're trying to stay disciplined towards what's working. But in this particular stock, it was so strong that the breakouts were good. We came up here, we had a beautiful wedge, and I'm waiting for this to pull back a little lower to get long, back into the previous high of day, which is at this line of 31. If we zoom out here, or if we look over to our 3-minute charting, we'll see that we had highs of 530, as our very first high of day level. And so I really wanted to see us pull back into this level here. So right here, can we dip down a little bit more and then bounce? I was willing to look for this trade. And so, we never came down here and I missed my zone to buy. And as it's consolidating, I said, you know what? I'm going to wait for the open. We only have a few minutes left before the opening bell. And, around 9:25, this thing takes off. It gives a new high. It, does the 3-bar play setup and rips into the open for the opening surge. We were halted up. It resumes lower. And if you guys recall the live stream, I did say this halt down was very tricky because it was one of those areas where I could have seen myself buying. And, Marcelo and I, we spoke today, the subtlety within trading. He was being a little bit more aggressive today, and he had happened to buy the pullback here, but it went down lower and it went into a halt down, right? I was this close to taking that trade, guys. This close. The reason why I hesitated on buying was because we resumed lower. Ideally, I want to see the resumption play resume higher. We're halted right here. Can we resume up here? And we can put this in different color codes. Right? Can we resume higher and rip? Right? Can we rip? Then once it pulls back and it comes down to this, open level, that's essentially my buying zone, right? This is the zone that I'm looking for. And then I'm in. Can we see, the move to the highs again? And I'm selling into the highs. So when we open up lower here, I'm watching at it like, man, maybe we can bounce. So it opens up lower, right? It flushes down. It really comes down hard, and it hesitates as if it wants to now bottom and then curl back up. And so, can we see a nice green candle here for quick bullish engulfing right back to the highs? The risk to reward, if you're in here, and it does go back up, you're the person that's in at 620, selling at 680. But then, when it does have a hard time, and so when we talk about breakout or bailout, it's why we're keeping the stops tight. We're trying our best to exit the trade as quick as we can to protect ourselves. And so, I ended up trading this one on the bounce after the resumption lower. I don't usually trade downtrending momentum, but I gave this one a chance. I was able to make $285, and then I lost it back pretty quickly as it was choppy. I'm in, and I'm watching break of 550. It moves up nicely. I take some decent trades there, right? I'm in. Let's see. CFRX. Hold on. 1 day ago. So, okay, we had a losing trade. Did we? No, okay. So there we go. So winning trade. In at 558, out at 67 for 9 cents. Then we're back in at 61 and 63, coming out at 71. So at this point, we made a quick 15, 16 cents. And then break of 75, I'm watching for a push over 80, 85, 90. I'm in at 74, so it's breaking. It hits about 77 and instantly drops. I sold early, but the spreads opened up on the bids, and I gave back everything I made in those first 2 trades. And it was just quite unfortunate. In at 75, out at 62, no good. So, that's how this one played out for me. So I was scratch. Tried it over here as it, attempted to make a new high. Or let's say it curled up. It tried to curl up over this level. Started with a flag, then turned into a bit of an ABCD, but just was not strong. And, I got distracted, but I wanted to mention and call this out to the Discord that we were likely to see a flush because of the volume profile. Relentless Trader, what is the volume profile? Well, volume profiles is essentially, keeping an eye on our volume relative to our candlesticks on the 5-minute chart, or let's say higher time frames in general, right? So, high of day volume, if we're paying attention here, essentially came pre-market in terms of a green candle, which was about 1 million shares, right here, right? Into the open, we get halted up very quickly, so it's a bit of a technical situation. The candle doesn't live through the full 5 minutes to gain volume. Okay, we get it. But on the resumption, we resume lower. We're halted down with light volume, and then once it comes down here, boom, about 2 million shares in selling volume, red candle, and now that's our high of day volume. So when I look back at this, it's like, man, what are the odds that we go? The day's already been so weak. The bears, I said this towards the end of the live stream, the bears are in control, and they were. And so we saw the flush down. So moving on, that was this one. Let's take a quick look at OCEA, and then we'll wrap it up for the recap. OCEA, this is the one that went crazy a few weeks, last week rather. And, today I'm watching at it for a quick pullback. It rips up. I'm in on the low. And, it's funny because this same stock gave the similar type of trade on Friday. But on Friday, I was late to the show. Today, I was able to make it on time. I buy the low down here. And as it surges back up for the 3-bar play, I'm selling. And it was a nice move. So, really good for OCEA. Oh, and really, what we really saw, actually no, I didn't buy the low. It was a break of the whole dollar, which then resulted into the 3-bar play. That's actually what it was. We got a lows at 54. Lastly, AWIN, the most disappointing one for me today. Earlier in the day, I was green about 180, or let's say maybe 120. Yeah, 120. Then I lost 180 on this big red candle here. Got caught in the flush, and it never bounced back up. Not until later in the day. And by then, when this started moving, there's another rule I have to implement. It's either I'm gonna be working with our students and mentoring and you know producing content for MMU, or I'm trading. I cannot do both. And I'm working on some stuff. The stock starts to move, and my mind is split in half. My focus. That is the only reason I'm not very green on the stock. I got myself up to like $100, gave it back, and just this back and forth. And so, ultimately I said enough is enough, and that was it. And you know, the fills weren't the best at times. And yeah, this was the last trade I got caught, and I said, you know what, man, that's it. And I bought this for a break over this ridge. I bought it early. I got a high fill in at 74 out of 71. Should have been in at 71 out of 74, but that's how it goes. So I went from green 335 to green 284 after that. And that was the day, ladies and gentlemen. Today was a choppy day, so if you are red, don't beat yourself up too much. We'll be back again tomorrow, hopefully for a much better day in the markets. And we'll be looking to be disciplined, patient, and we're going to stay relentless. So, of course, once again, as mentioned in the beginning of the video, hit that thumbs up button. If you're a new viewer, consider subscribing to the Relentless Army. And of course, turn on notifications. That way you guys will know when I go live every weekday morning around 9 a.m. Eastern time, right? If I'm ever late, just stay tuned. I will be here. I'm always here before 9:20, the latest. That way I can still do some analysis and get ready for the opening bell. All right, it's been Relentless Trader. Stay safe, stay green. I am, of course. Check out those links down below for the MMU course. I almost didn't mention it. The MMU course, right? The Discord, Momo Pro, the social media platforms, and so forth. Guys, it's been RT, and I am, of course, signing out.